I really don't know how to get comfortable in this bloody bed. I'll tell you that now. What bloody doing here? Oh, wish I had a new body. Okay, I've got some information. I don't know how to take this in right now. Because I'm being bombarded with some bloody petty people that don't even know what the bloody word disability means. Excuse me. Right. As a private friend, if I produce document again, and it's very difficult. How many pages long? I can't even go into it right now. Somebody hadn't misunderstood our communication when I sought clarification about an OT matter, occupational work in the United Kingdom it's called. How many pages is this? Oh. Yeah, I thought so. It is very difficult to try and get anything that you need in 2018. Still need an appointment for it, so. You know, it's difficult trying to get access to anything that is set out. It's so complex in the United Kingdom. Still, I bet there's so many thousands of people going through. There's a website of benefitsandworks.co.uk. It's bloody very complex, I tell you. Thousands of people going through this subject. Capita Business Services Limited just never stops. And it's very hard to try and get spiritually and psychologically, and it's easier said than done not to get stressed out. And it's difficult where you have medical diagnosis to meet with strangers, to talk to people. There's all sorts. People's got different situations. And I don't like to keep going on and on and on about it, but the fact is that is constantly, there's thousands of people all over social media, they make YouTube channels about this subject, and this physical body of mine is not getting any better. So I'm trying to survive like thousands of people in the United Kingdom in this situation, and the circumstances are not great. And I've had another, I know what they want in another subject of this email that came at 3:30 in the morning. That was to say, I know what's behind that. I ain't going to make that public. I know what's going on there. So, Friday, you go in 2 days and they're bested again. I mean, it's just not great, is it, when you're in a situation when you got the public sector funds everywhere, cutbacks, and there's disabled people against cuts doing a hashtag today, computer generated, I think, about the Tory conference. They're trying to stop people, you know, trying to raise awareness, even disabled people's national campaign group. Hi from Wales. Hi, how are you doing? You also going through this Pip minus Capita. Crazy, isn't it? Well, no pun intended. It's extremely frustrating where everyone's situation is different, and empowerments and diagnoses, conditions in day-to-day life. And when it's frustrating, I don't know what it's like in Wales, what your system's like down there, if you're even in this particular situation needing to go through the PIP. I know people work and claim it, but Great, cool. Thanks for joining, Master Bebs. So, yeah, it is frustrating. And when you're dealing with a statute law in UK, it's known as a Care Act assessment. 40 pages document long, so thick. And they won't even have, they're lawfully, the public servants, the social workers, then you've got occupation therapists. I mean, it's not just one thing. When you're physically can't walk, you've got high care needs, and the nationals is all over. Deliberate, this is not just me. And I don't know what it's like happening in your area in Wales or in Scotland, but they're deliberately out to make lives of people with, unfortunate, whatever your disabilities, you know, whether you're able to work with your disability, but people with high complex needs. You see the top of your head. Yeah, I'm laying down. I've had to be in bed today. And one of them days, you know, when the body doesn't want to do much, unfortunately, it has to rest. And that puts everything on hold. You know, I can't sit up any more as long as I like to in my wheelchair. I'll get through all this. It's just a very massive, difficult time. Drop the camera. Is that better? Yeah? I'm in my dressing gown, so I'm in my the bed, resting. Yeah? My hair's tied up today, so I look a mess, so hence me not being on camera much today at all. Because I'm trying to just get the body, this right side, working because it plays up. So basically, I'm trying to make head or tail of this documentation. And I don't do paperwork. Known as Bear's been YouTube since it's been, have you really? I'll have to check your channel out. Have you? What subjects do you tend to do yourself? You got any particular format that you take yourself? I just started off on this channel as a weather. Then it started off a housing disrepair and statute law, because I've studied certain subjects over the years, and then asthma health deterioration because of this nightmare situation. Better go low. What? Bitter, you mean, or better? Bitter or better? What do you mean by that? Get your comment. I just have a reread. This phone, I'm trying to get a new one, and it won't show up the comments. Yeah, this phone's but I had it. Oh, here we go. I've got it up now. So, better girl low? Is that what you mean? Okay. Well, let me just, I'll read that bit later. Can't really comprehend that right now. So what I'm trying to get my head around. MP thought I would pop in. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I'll check your channel out later. You having your dinner, USD? Are you also disabled yourself? Or are you not in this position? Where the title says on the stream, Pip DWP. Politics, flat earth. Oh, right. Well, I'm not into politics and I'm on the fence of flat earth. Yeah, that's what I could say about that at the moment. Everything else is taking precedent over everything I used to do in this channel years ago. So this today was on the subject, for anyone else going through similar experience, is what's going on with a guide to your assessment. So they are not doing a paper-based assessment. Didn't think so. So an important part of the assessment for making a PIP claim for most individuals face-to-face. If this is carried out, thanks. It's what's important, what one sometimes tries to say, facts of evidence of personal experience that may help somebody else. Because in Central England and Wales, the Capita PLC Corporation, on behalf of the contract, the Department of Works and Pensions in England, carries out assessments. Some assessments will be paper-based, and that's a very big miracle, which means that we will gather information. UKIP member, Tommy, is it Fowler? Yeah, politics. Well, I personally think they're all bloody the same. Personally, I really do. Oh gosh, I think they're just all the same. I don't have any particular feeling or thought on it anymore. They're just all the bloody same. They're not helping people that really need it anymore. All the statutory laws are just out there for those that's got certain connections. You see the people that are struggling. So this is just one example with thousands of people going through, perhaps. Especially when you've got complexity, medical needs. So I'm just going to put it off camera now. So, healthcare professionals, men and women. Yeah, I get it. Thanks, Master Bebs. Yeah, I'll check it out. Thanks. Just going to keep the subject on this stream at the moment. But most claimants, most men and women, and I don't know what it's like for children, teenagers, a family with disabled children, so I can only comment about adults and my own experience, though, my own opinion. So this is conditional acceptance under duress, because I'm not in a position to be that healthy to self-sufficient in anything, unfortunately. So this just goes on as statutory IT produced document reading, large print, thank goodness. And then if there is an offer of a man or woman in their job capacity, keyboard getting old. Don't even get me started on that. Oh, technology. Oh, technology does my head in. This device. My mobility was so weak the other week. And I can't remember now how long ago. My right side is going, you see. My good right side of my body. And I dropped the phone and the screen smashed. So it don't work ever since properly. So my mate has helped me on my birthday the other day to order a new one, and I'm just waiting for a date on that. And as soon as I can get a date, I can get these, somehow get these meetings, get things moving. It's all a big change, just part of life now. So when you have unfortunately this going on, and then going through so much at once, is trying to break everything down in a slow process in your own pace. But the public sector employees, they're so nationally everywhere cut back, aren't they, public funding, and then they're stressed out in their job on the frontline services, so that puts pressure on those that meant to be offer services to. And I'm getting that. Bloody heck, am I getting that? They don't mean you will, personally, I know that. It's just their tick box exercise on their computer system, and I cannot work in their pace. My body is impossible. And last weekend was just an example. Unfortunately, I caved in. Not caved in, but I had the effects of my mum's dying on me, yeah. It still affects me bad. So I do study now. I'm not religious, but a really good Christian friend of mine is such a good heart. And I've been reading this document, pamphlet actually. And I was raised in a religion, and I do meditation. Well, today I need to get my mate to put another CD on. And that really will just help to take the edge off things again today, I hope. Because I can't remember the last time I watched a comedy film. You know, I do like a really good laugh in a comedy film, I'll tell you that now. And unfortunately, it hasn't been comedy for a long time for me, I tell you. I never used to be like this, unfortunately. And I'll get there eventually. It's just going to take a little while. This phase of anyone's life, you go through phases in life. That really does get difficult. Depends what you go through. And unfortunately, everything's happened all at once this time, in a very short period of time. And I had a gut feeling things will get in a very difficult time, and it's just trying to break it down bit by bit, and just trying to tell these certain public servants, hold on, you know, you can't expect blood out of a stone, can you? So it's a bit like with this computerized system requirement, you know. And basically, for most individuals on this subject, PIP, DWP, some people may be offered a face-to-face one, the majority of them basically. And then it looks at your mobility and you're able to carry out day-to-day activities. So my mate's done a diary. I'll give you one example what they had to do. They've written some notes for me. So if anyone out there don't know what it's like to be, oops, and they dropped some papers. In a day in life of me, well, anybody similar, I suppose. This has to be, I mean, try to be typed up into a document somehow at some point, sooner rather than later, for this weekend. Quite a few pages of my private informal carers, and what and how many and what they had to do for me. So if you already have a extreme unfortunate reduction in one's health, physically and psychologically, and there's strategies to find a way to cope, and it's not great. They don't have extra time, they're not paid for, you know, it's all private friends, because I had negative experiences of serious incidents in my past by public funded carers. So it wasn't ideal to email a public servant after their business hours, office hours, but I've got no opportunity, and I've got to fit around certain personal friends because of their shifts and the way they work and trying to care for me. And that's the only reason when I ended up in hospital last year, a reduction one's health, I went and thought, well, what is available now, like in the mainstream system for care? Didn't realise suddenly, beginning of this year, February especially, this area would be all over the mainstream media. Anyway, so 23rd night 2018, an email was sent for me to try and make it clear about this Capita PLC. A certain public servant had emailed at 8 p.m. that evening. No, that was a Friday, yeah, because things she said she'd do, she didn't do, put it that way, on the day before on a Care Act assessment meeting, and I struggled. And then I had another messed about with Capita PLC Corporation. So one call centre operator, they're run by call centres, computer system, and they also have NHS, your medical data in England, because the NHS England Corporation has a contract to handle the data of people's medical information by a medical practitioner practice. And you find all this out, all your data is already stored in the system anyway, and even this. And it doesn't matter what you really send in, they can check everything anyway. I mean, what you see is what you get. The fact is frustrating that more data is collecting. And what do they want, you know? So when there's miscommunication going on, it's up to the individual in a very unfortunate position to try and rectify that and rebut non-factual information. Oh my goodness me, did I expect a comeback this morning? Not the way it happened. So I do not like and I've always made this clear, the overwhelming psychological distress this is causing me yet again. And there's no compassion. There's no time for compassion in these public, some of them, not everybody, some key frontline public servants in the job role. None. And it's clear that I don't know anybody else, but I am being majorly disadvantaged. And it's all on my medical evidence, why I cannot engage with such and such, why I cannot do such and such. And that was done, I found out, the 4th of August 2018, so the medical evidence is already there, and it's not changed. And what's happened, it's just the email disinformation by public servants in my area yet again. It doesn't help when you have injuries, you get ill, and you can't engage, you're not wanting to, you just physically are too ill to. And these certain public servants in the job role expect you to magically somehow walk, and you don't, or somehow be totally unsafe, careful, to be at a venue for PLC Capita at 11:55 a.m, knowing full well that was absolutely physically impossible. And all this time I ended up getting run over and wheelchair dependent, I've never been able to do anything till after 1. I tried, made a big effort at a public meeting. I mean, with a public servant in a meeting, this care assessment, very difficult. I can't keep doing it. I only have half an hour. By the time I'm finished getting care, personal care, wash, dresser, everything more now, and then the side effects of medications I've got, they changed the medication on me again this week. And there's a new note added in the medication list. They're putting me on more. I'll have to check that. My mates have to check the medication in a minute, because that pack, the weekly pack I get, we didn't manage to check it in the way we normally do, because something happened, unfortunately. It's all about timing. It's frustrating, because this is why I'm trying to go through this assessment process to get the right care, to get moved to the right safe location, to get a future, whatever that might look like. But the way it's going, the way it's happening, it's all rush, 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 rush. So yesterday I was trying to figure out what the hell's going on with all this sudden rush. And we found some old documents and the fact certain things are happening behind the scenes. And now this is so obvious that they just want this flat off me. I've got secure tender, but I know what else is behind it. So one is trying to be chilled out. It's very hard. And at least all I could do, I mean, they try and cook my food, but the dental health, the illness I've got on top of this, what I'm going through, I can't eat normal food. So I'm on bananas, grapes, yogurts, and drink. Alright, it's not ideal, but at least I'm trying to eat. So I've set out, with my friend's help, the key requirements to assist me, these public servants, to work with an outcome. And you won't even believe that this place will be deemed health and safety nightmare. I mean, I've been saying this for a bloody year, because they won't repair unless I move out. But where the hell do you move to? Well, I've been through this roundabout merry-go-round for years, and thousands others perhaps. You get the OT assessment, not suitable. That gets to the housing employees. The housing employees saying Social Housing UK can't do the attachments, structurally not possible. Then you're in the bidding system, housing needs assessment. You get the high points, physically, psychologically, and housing needs wise. Then you're in the bidding process. You get no housing support. Then somehow you're meant to miraculously get to a location to look at a bungalow and find it's not even got accessible. There's no bloody ramp. You can't get into the bloody building. And then you find that a friend, an old friend, goes, like a political woman at the time, goes into the building that's offered the bungalow and finds it's not big enough for your medical equipment. So I had to reject every bloody offer before. And my late mum, bless her heart, she said to me one time, the last offer I had, a bungalow in my area, she said, "You can't even swing a cat in this bloody place. Why on earth do they offer you this this bungalow?" And that's a problem, you see. Now, to date, it's got worse. And now the new, so-called, my area anyway, the bidding system completely different. So the only good bit about this place is the hallway, but then they haven't repaired the hallway wall. So my dilemma is, you get a public servant offered to come in and straight away they have a duty of care, health and safety for vulnerable adults. I know about this too much now. They have to do an emergency safeguarding. And what that ends up, I'm not afraid of it. It's the fact that it's been totally negligent of this housing company employees. Deliberate. All this history since I moved here. And I find out last July, you see my videos on this housing about what's the disrepair is all about. And I don't have to go into that right now because I'm the subject of the stream. But that all tallies in to date. Because I've ended up, personal injury, I've ended up with ill health. I've ended up in bloody hospital twice now, and constant, like 5 accidents, and bloody in my lungs and my ill health because it's airborne. The mould of that rotted flooring is airborne. So I know, I'm bloody well know that I'm living in unsafe conditions. I'm not unsafe by anybody harming me or me to me. That's not it. It's a building. It's a flat. But where else do I go? So I offered a solution. And the solution I offered on the 31st of the 8th, 2018, and I'm all for solutions. I said, logically, why don't you get the housing employees to correspond and work with, in my area, it's NHS need commissioning. It's called NHS Better Fund, continuing care funding by NHS England, okay? Then also, why not work in conjunction with this national housing company? It's very extremely asset wealth funding, because their duty of care they breach. It would have cost them, it'd be cheaper for them to do it than me to sue them behind off. And to work at funding at a hotel locally. There is one I know, I need to suss out the room. And I want a miracle tonight so I can have my physical health so my mates can get in the wheelchair and come with me and suss out the size of the room. Because there is a idea. I put this 3 times to the social workers. I put it in emails as well. That if that room is big enough and the lift, then they could get me out of here in that location, paid for by working together, if they do, I doubt they ever do, even more now, social adult health, housing, NHS, working for disabled individual. Okay, so there's a solution. This would save, by the way, the public purse on the adult care, because then it's the owners on the housing, because they're negligent and breach of care, on this housing disrepair. So it'd be cheaper for them to do this way than me suing them for over 30 odd grand, I found out it's worth. For they mental harm, physical, personal injury, breach of contract, breach of tenancy. They are, not me, by the way. And because I'm so ill, I ain't got the energy to go down that road. So I thought, well, cut the losses and look at my instant situation, and that was a remedy. So God forbid it don't rain tomorrow and I have my physical strength to get in my wheelchair. I will suss out that hotel. It's not an ideal angle the way the slope is, but we'll try and work around that. And it will be a temporary solution. So, therefore, then if there's the offer on the Care Act 2014 section of occupational therapy, and they're trying to imply this, that I need a I've just read a bit more, this 40-page document. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But it's everywhere. I just can't even believe it. I cannot honestly get my head around it. It was so reading like the Pip documentation I've already gone through, and I'm going through this again, but it's worded in similar wording. At least I know now. I mean, I need one of these. My mate puts the document right each page under a phone and expands it so I can read it, because I can't bloody read the thing, it's too small. And anyway, so that 2 pages, page 9, and it's called a V9, and it's a computer drop-down menu document printed out 40 pages. I mean, come on. The email's gone off tonight saying, look, you got to provide a GUK version I can read, like a CD perhaps. And anyway, in one of the, well, quite a few of the questions, it went on to your home environment. Oh my God, I was reading that. I thought, well, I ain't going to be bloody passing that one in this condition. I'm left to live like. And then another question was about your health and safety. Well, that is bloody well been going on for over a year. And then it's on about your outcomes, housing outcomes. It's all new buzzwording now. Not what I remember it used to be like, community care. It's completely changed. So it's more integrated into DWP, PIP, NHS. It's all like all public bodies, nationally and locally, all twined in together with the wording. And that's how it come across. I thought, okay, right. I'm trying to find a solution to work with these people that don't want to work with me, and it's bloody frustrating. So I need the OT assessment. I never said I don't, because the last one was 2013. But that is about the medical loan equipment. So up-to-date assessment. I bumped into this lady. I don't know if I said that in the stream before. And she works with elderly people, and she's been the lovely lady. She works with elderly people in care homes, and she finally somebody was able to give me, apart from my friends, that is, to give me some logical approach to this, a complex situation where it says, well, because when there's a change, like I ended up in hospital last year, and again recently in your health, they need these up-to-date reports, assessments, right? So why the hell didn't I get that explained to me before, back in bloody May and June, by these public servants? If that was simply put to me and logically put to me, then I could see where they're coming from, and it never has been. That's what's been the problem. I'm going round in circles. So because the cutbacks in services in my area, they haven't got bloody time to explain things in logical format that people in my position needs it, I tell you, and we have to find out ourselves. So anyway, this lady was able to say to help me see it in a different angle this time. So that's when I was able to, with my friends having a discussion again yesterday, was able to think of, right, let's just see how big the room is, because their beds won't be the height of my hoist. So I still need these aids I got now in my own in that hotel room. And then I'd need my breakfast, and I need my lunch because I'm on medications. Then I need the evening meal, right? And I ain't fussed. I can't eat much. It would be very minimal, and I can't eat proper foods anyway. And then I'd need everything in writing, i.e. like email, to confirm who could be paying what angle. And then, if it's still required, i.e. the offer of this area has got monopoly of the OT assessment process, then it could be, may not work this way, but it's a possibility. I've offered that solution to then offer the OT assessment if it's still saying what I can and cannot do. It's not an ideal environment, I know, in their job role, because they might have their policies in statutory law and say, well, no, it needs to be in your home environment. Well, if I'm not going to be living here, then that's not going to be appropriate. So surely a safe location to watch me transferring with the sling, the hoist, and my medical aids, and to see why my right side at the moment, this is what's causing it all, is so weak and I'm having these accidents, right? And then I could be out of this bloody place. Then the housing could come in and employees and, well, this is what I would have thought they would, and I know now they're not going to ever do it, but this is an idea anyway, that they could then come in to do the repairs of this wet room floor, and I know they're not going to do it, they just want the flat off me. So, but anyway, that was the solution, thinking that way. And then, if the viewpoint of these public servants in adult care, management side would say, well, we could put in this particular department that deals with the first, I think it's 6 or 8 weeks free of personal care, and that could be in that environment hotel, and it's around the corner from my home. I still be able to try and keep an eye on this place because I do not have anyone to do that, and I was still in statutory law, Housing and Landlord Act. Can't remember the year. I'll still be responsible till the end of the tenancy, okay, for bills, gas, electric, everything. And time's running out because it's autumn now. And that was a solution, an idea, a temporary idea. Instead of being rushed an emergency basis, like I was before, in any place, could be anywhere, not even in this county, where there's a bed in, don't even know what the standard of these care homes are like. Worse than us, I believe, with the funding cuts, they're not paying their staff enough. So that is what is the serious, unfortunate, negative side of it will most probably end up being. My option, 3 times over, emails and in meetings, to offer a solution to move things forward, is deliberately just, again, being refused. And I've not refused anything lawfully, but it needs to be working together with my needs. So it's my private location. I'm not blocking anybody to lawfully offer me services, because I know in statute law, logically, how the system is now, and if you're not seen to try and work with these people, they can bloody well say, well, you're not coherent and you're not with it, and more labels will come out, you know. So I'm trying to be safe, I'm trying to be logic, and again, this email today was at 3:30 a.m. in the morning by a social worker, and that was done in such a way, I won't make public how, but it was obvious what was going on and how it said. So today, again, out of hours, but this time earlier, thank God, an email, same email yesterday's gone back, but it's re-added the factual and for rebuttal, but added being polite, because I don't want to, you know, they have all these policies, they won't, trying to treat people the way they want to treat me. And it's very difficult, bite my tongue, so to speak, and it's so frustrating, but I'm still trying. And I said I've never rejected a lawful offer, and these 2 companies, well, there's quite a few of them, the public funded ones especially, and there's one private company, and I need a full disclosure. I know why they're doing these things to me, because they want to transfer the obligation of this particular case onto a longer term team. I know who it is, and that is bypassing the statutory duty to offer this very complex and detailed Care Act assessment process. That's why they're doing it, because I've been so ill, because they're not making allowances for my, it's major disadvantage. So I'll cut off that subject now and I'll go on to the PIP. So because of all that alarm and distress, my friends have made a diary of notes on what's happened and how. And that needs to be typed up as personal diary of how it's affected me and still is. So when you do a personal diary, this, you have to cover, right, both your psychological disabilities and your personal washing and dressing, and really what it's like on a bloody bad day. Reality check. And I couldn't believe with them writing this down, the experiences and the risk to me, and how I had thought of my friends because of a certain email of a certain public servant and her impact negligently onto me. And this was reference to the Pip. How was I meant to magically be somewhere, as I said, at 11:55 a.m. on 24th of 9th, 2018, on Monday morning? Seriously, unsafe. It will put my friends at serious, well, I don't know why she was emailing me and say, well, you still need to go. This is like meant to be offer assistance is sitting on this Pip medical. And I appreciate the help, please don't get me wrong. But I found out by another source that other information was said. And she'd misled me and then quickly covered up by a text and an email on a date just before that. I won't go into all the facts. But the fact how that impacted me psychologically all weekend, and expected my friends to unsafely hoist me, rush their transferring, rushing their personal care, to somehow magically get down to that other building for a medical at 5 to 12. And this public servant social worker knows all these months, all the evidence, medical evidence, everything. That's impossible. So if I didn't have this private Christian friend of a friend making a certain call and then putting it factually what's going on, because this other public servant I'm talking about, she didn't even provide the evidence of an email she refers to. So unfortunately she'd messed up, and then she turned around an email and blamed me. And I'm the one that my four friends by Sunday night who said, right, all phones parked on the street. You know that video we did, that was funny. I've never done that bloody live music on a radio like that before, and who just thought, stop it. We've had enough shite weekend, and we're not going to have my bloody birthday spoiled and by anyone. And then up the music that night and chilled out, and didn't even bloody look at no emails or nothing on my birthday. We were late getting out, we were just taking time, and we had a lovely meal. Four of us. We went to a place I used to work years ago when I was much, much younger. One of these days, I might, if I get time this weekend, I did get some photos and show you my old days, my old modelling days. That'd make you laugh. And anyway, so basically, if it hadn't been for them, it took them 2 hours. 2 hours of psychologically, verbally, and with music on to get me out on my own, because what that bloody nasty piece of individual wording, by her wording and behaviour, has done to me, and still is. Anyway, I thank goodness I got these informal carers in the way they are, and managed to have a pleasant day. And as the day was coming to close, managed to order a new phone. Don't know when it's going to get here, and to replace this dodgy one that I've got, because then was an email, and my friend, I don't know why she checked it, because we all agreed not to check no emails that day on the 25th of the night, 2018, and there was an email by this public servant too. Bombarded me with a text as well, harassing me at my bloody birthday. They don't give up, these public servants. Can't even bloody believe what it was saying. Out the blue. It was all done psychologically, like to create another psychological impact. And good job my mate didn't show me, because I would have been I wouldn't. I would. I can't say what I would have. How would I react? Good job they didn't. Just put it this way. Good job they didn't show me until I saw it on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, it wasn't Tuesday, was it? That's my birthday. Wednesday. We're now Friday. So yeah. So another 2 days. I knew it wouldn't stop all this shite going on. And so this brief diary written out what happened that weekend and leading up to the 24th, and what happened. There was no way. They sent an email the Sunday night for me telling them, public servant, do not go down to that public building at Pip Capita in my area, that I will not be there. That is unsafe for me. There's medical evidence. The email went off to how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4. So went off to that public servant, that complaints department, the MP. Well, that apparently was a wrong MP. Bria, that went nowhere. It went off to Capita PLC. Their email they never get back to either. And it made it quite clear that due to this overwhelming, alarming distress and effects of my physical body, there is impossible, overwhelming psychological distress, is what it's called. And in my medical notes, it states the facts on that. So that went off, and because of the likely of the harm due to be arised from that also. And that went off as factual because it's completely impossible to do what's required in conjunction with the IT produced offer by Pip. So that was just a brief one that needs to be typed up as evidence as a diary of the impact on my day-to-day life for my personal care. And basically, there's another one where if you don't read these key elements of your personal situation, mixing with others, and your behaviours and your risk to yourself or others. So, if I hadn't found out about this 4th of the August 2018 evidence, I haven't seen it, which I'm still waiting for medical notes, by the way. The diagnosis, the clear factual evidence of diagnosis of the physical disabilities and long-term psychological from tort, which is harm, which is crimes, and trauma-based, then, well, this evidence has been ignored by a certain, again, a public servant. So, that is going to be typed up into a document. So I'll just go on to this personal independence payment guide to your assessment. So I would not even numbered these pages. And also, if you're like me in a wheelchair and you need to use the loo, you need a specialist type access for the loo. And when you go on Disabled Go website, you just try and find what buildings are accessible and if their toilets are and where positioned when you haven't been to a building before, where is the position of like grab rails, and how wide is the door for your wheelchair to turn around. And I've only got one good foot and I'm limited on my right side, so I have certain problems unfortunately now. So that's another problem in not being able to go to their building for the offer of assessment. It's so bloody complex. I wish I weren't, I tell you. And that is what it's claimed on that piece of document. What else I've got? So, this was dated Monday because it generated cancellation of that appointment. So I got to text this friend of a friend, and I think it needs to be done tomorrow. There's a church meeting on Sunday, and I wish to goodness their building was wheelchair accessible, because I'd love to actually meet people. They've got some really good art. These people are just so much better than my own religious background experience. And it'd be just so nice to meet some people differently for change, you know. But anyway, this document, since it's been going on for years, but I knew this was coming anyway, but the amount of information you need to supply is unreal. This letter explains what happens next and what to expect and when to contact this call centre on behalf of DWP. Has passed your application again to Capita. So they again are rejecting to do a paper assessment. I knew this. We provide assessments. Yes, I know that, but they've messed me about 3 times. And how often they're going to keep doing this? And they're now looking at the claim. We will contact you again about what to do next. They will review the information you provided. We have or currently waiting for evidence. This is exactly what they've done. They regenerated this as a new claim, and it's not. So instead of closing down the claim, they just regenerated new paperwork and in their system, and they've already got the information, and they already got exactly the same information. So there's nothing about doing a paper assessment, but it's just the same jargon. Most people apply face-to-face and will have a face-to-face meeting. So it's not paged, it's not worded. I mean, it's just big words, but it's not numbered, the pages. So if you don't have a family member, you don't have your friends. And now, to help with the extra paperwork you need on all this on top, then you're disadvantaged again. And then on top, you don't get, there is a medical reason why you cannot travel to one of their places, their buildings, and contact them and let them know. If appropriate, they will try and arrange a home appointment. If this is the case, may ask for evidence. That's already happened. So that's already happened. So this has gone round in circles, 360. And they will try, when you look at these keywords all over again, it's we try, we may ask for evidence. They don't. They did not. I don't know anyone else experiences this, but they did not get more medical evidence or personal knowledge. And for example, the medical evidence was on the can you my pen's here. Can you just make a note on the piece of paper and attach this to this? Face to face. You might think, oh, I'm talking to a camera. Yeah, but when you're face to face, it's different. I jam up. I'm in a really bad state with that environment. So my medical evidence, a reason why I can't go with and I don't even know what day that was, on the 4th of the 8th. I just know it's a piece of bloody eye. It's one of those things. One of those things that's very difficult to cope with, to be honest. I don't know anybody else. So let me just check the 4th. When was the 4th? Of August. I'm trying to go back on the month. So that was, hold on, it can't be right, surely. Hold on, where's my other phone? I need a bloody diary printed on the bloody wall, I think. Oh, I wish I could eat normal food. You're going to be a soup, I think. Yeah, that's a good idea. Could you do me soup, please, Kay, with just some bread? Yeah, I couldn't eat that yesterday. My. I won't sell now. I'll just tell you in a minute. Right. Oh, right. So let's go on to August, that date. Right. Oh, what? Gosh. Well, that's a bit weird. Saturday. Right. So these capital offices are meant to be open on a Saturday. Well, that don't add up either. That really don't add up. That must have been printed on a Friday, the 3rd of the 8th, and got posted to their offices, and they might be doing shift work, and because it's a computer software company, Capita PLC, they have outsources departments, and they're contracted on behalf of the Department of Works and Pensions in the United Kingdom. That's how it works. So that was my medical evidence, and then I'm going to show you this logo, and if it helps somebody else, if I can find it. Might be upside down, this logo. Check this website out because I think it might help. I paid, I'm still a member, and it's still hard to trying to get, I've got the documents downloaded on the laptop, but it's very difficult going through it when you're so bloody ill. So this is what might help anybody else in the UK or England or Scotland if you're going through the PIP and DWP. Right, I'm about to show you the logo so you know what it looks like. Back to front, I know, but that colour might be distorted slightly. It's called Benefits and Works, and they got guides on there, and go if you're dealing with the PIP, because don't forget it triggers off, and I found this out as well. This will trigger off if any points on your physical grounds, mental health grounds, mobilizing, personal care, washing, what you can do, not do. If anything that alters, that can alterate and trigger an assessment for this ESA medical questionnaire. I didn't even know this till recently. And it's called, you could get then sent on top as well, ESA 50 medical questionnaire. And then if you're not wheelchair dependent, if you're wheelchair dependent, you got your upper strength. Even then they're finding people. I mean, it's ridiculous what they're doing, people. I mean, everyone's situation is different. But I'm limited, one-handed, in a wheelchair, but powered electric wheelchair. So I don't know if you've seen videos of me in my wheelchair. I might just do one to show you my reality. Oh, God, it's not great, but I'm not pitying anything. It's just reality. And it's all computer-based, okay? So when it's true, because when you go on this website and check out the forums and what they're saying, and even some of these Facebook pages, it's true because they're just a tick box. You're just a tick box. I have to laugh because it's just unreal. Really is unreal. It just makes me bloody sick. What else can you do, eh? You do your best. Anyway, and then either, I don't know what area, other companies are involved. So either Capita, Atos, famous Atos, but oh, how do I put it? Just go and check out the website. That's all I'm going to say for now on that one. Right. If you don't know this bit also, bear with me in my handwriting. Then we can read that bit. Right. I try after I need a drink. Yeah, can you reach that? Thank you. Oh, there. Right. It sounds very complex, and it bloody well is. So, bear with us. 2013, personal independence payment, Social Security transitional provision regulation. It's a mouthful, isn't it? I'll say it again. I can't even speak now. Social Security transitional provision regulation 2013. And we were trying the other day to look for this section 93 and 94. I can't remember what we're doing it for now, but I knew it's important because it's touched in this document we had before this public servant is doing what she's doing to me. And oh yeah, that's it. So many notes I've kept an eye on. Right. This, I'm just trying to get the notes we made about this that we found. Right. The bit about this overwhelming distress is on this Benefit and Works website. You're going to how to use that category in your documentation, and about additional information. I mean, I supplied so much as unreal, but on the very medical report, I don't want to go and send. I might have to. And that is very horrific reading. And I don't want that to be made public. And that's on the serious crime. A long time ago, but it's permanent effect on the psychological of my part of my life. So that, unfortunately, was claimed by this public servant, and who just, I couldn't believe in June the 1st, 2018, that she'd claimed that was a requirement on the, I got mistricked about the state protection thing going on at the time. Of course, it's all new to me what was going on. And then I had this so-called advocate. It's only for care, and they don't do welfare benefits. So no clue what the hell was going on. But anyway, I soon found out that this bloody medical NHS funded employee of one's medical practice has released all my medical data, all of my private life data, without my consent. Limited data, yeah, from 2019 only, I said, but not ever since I was born. And a serious shite, private shite that's been released. And but we know that we're in this digital age where they don't give the monkeys anyway. I mean, look at how things are breached on this system, computer system anyway. I'm trying to deal with that another time, but at the moment, the main thing is to make sure we're getting this PIP. For example, questionnaire on didn't know about this, and I really was so used, I've been so used for 3 odd years, how my friends care for me and we just get on with it. Never stop to think how detailed it is. How, like, managing nutrition, manage therapy, because I've always said I've been trying to await the outcome, always said to me in June, July, that this Care Act assessment report would be helpful both by a social worker and a care advocate as additional evidence support. But it's been hindered, unfortunately, by suddenly people going off on holiday for weeks and no advocate and no social worker. Then my ill health and being in hospital. So unfortunately, it's just been one thing after another, and this all on top. But if you go into that website and look at their documentation and forums, and then it goes on to follow the journey. So this particular, the questions are like re-asking the same kind of questions in different wording, and this is what they do in these assessments on their computer systems too. So I'd remembered when I had a I need all my food cut up, but now it's more like drinks, smoothies. Okay, because I no longer, my dental health, I mean, they could say that's temporary, but how long is temporary? I mean, especially as oral surgery individuals have always said, and it's online, I've been reading about, it would take me months to recover from the surgery, not just on my teeth, but in my mouth itself and the gums. So I don't know how that's going to impact my body. And then I'll need specialist nursing care. Don't know how long that will be. But all that planning, referrals, has all been on hold. Haven't been able to get sorted because I've had all this to deal with. And that's trying the consultation face to face. This is when you go on their website and you check out the head office where they're based, Capita PLC, and they don't give any breathing space at all when you're going through everything else at the same time. So this is, don't know if anyone else has had this experience when you have so much else going on all at the same time, but you still are trying to do your best to engage with individuals in, because you know you need that report, the Care Act 2014 statutory law, specialist report for this PIP process as well. And that's where it comes to complex, because then you got the housing, all this what I said earlier, going on as well. Then how the hell can you function properly? Oh, it's just, anyway, just go and check out that website and see what you reckon, because there's always going to be something going on, and unfortunately the regulations, limited capability for work as well, can also be triggered. Here we go, we found the bit where it says here on this document. So because of your physical or mental condition, disability, there will be substantial risk to your mental and physical health for any man or woman if you're found to have limited capacity for work. So when I cannot find that previous documentation, I don't know where that's gone, and my old laptop is broken, so I don't know if it was saved on that. Can't get the data off that. And so I know people that work can claim this PIP, but it's different when you're in a complex and a high personal situation, disabilities, because of these descriptors are similar, and it could trigger off if a descriptor is not found and you have not got a particular point for a particular descriptor for the PIP. It could also affect your current ESA in the support group or your work activity descriptor as well. So it's worth going on this Benefits and Works website, which is .co.uk, and if you are able to sign up, it's a one-off fee, and it's frustrating because there's so much bloody stuff on there. I mean, I don't know how to get into the proper membership bit that I paid for because I'm not that technically minded. I'll get there somehow, but I need to get that. And that's a crucial bit of information that medical evidence I just referred to went off about this element of the because that was changed, I don't know if it's 2018 or last year 2017 for the PIP and it's all over the news. People's been making posts about it on social media as well, about because your physical mental health condition, as I just repeat this paragraph, you're substantial risk to your mental health and physical health. And that's what happened on 24th of the night 2018. And that's what was discussed in my presence about by this public servant. And they've got all the evidence in black and white. But she claimed, well, she didn't, this Capita call centre. And actually, you need a case manager. But then again, it's a call centre. It's like any call centres. You go on the Lincoln app and check out. Well, go on, say, if you're looking for a job in a call centre and you type in Capita PLC, or just type in on this document where it says Capita Business Services Limited Head Office, because Capita PLC is just part of a European American branch of other companies linked in together. And they've got the software companies, it's all computer based. And yet there's only about 1 week's training, and this you can find out for yourself, for any healthcare professional to learn about the software they're using. That's why people are not getting any points at the first, not saying everyone, there's a lot of people not getting anywhere at the assessment stage or the mandatory consideration, and that's why it goes to a tribunal. And this is where this public servant was trying to imply, oh, just go on mental health. No, you don't just go on one thing. When you have the factual evidence of first-hand knowledge and reports, and it is very crucial. I mean, I don't know, they're going to read. I mean, there's more evidence I gave this time than in 2013. And like discharge letters for, and they didn't give me the one from this time round because the computer crashed on me. But the crucial one from last year, the witness statement of my daughter-in-law, how unfortunately, what was it? All these, there was like so many bloody, there was old previous disability living allowance documents they could access, but they don't. Apparently found that one out. So that's why my friends are helping me fill in the previous wording from the old DLA documents of 2013 I still had, thank goodness, to compare with the wording of this documents with Capita with Pip. And it's more in depth this time than it was last time. It's more simpler of last time. And I didn't need a face-to-face. They went on the medical evidence. And now they're making it deliberately harder, claiming to save the public purse. Well, in a way, I could see that, but genuine people are the ones being harmed. They're the ones that are being disadvantaged. So, if you want to check that out, but that was the Saturday that claimed to have that medical evidence. And was it sent by my medical practice? That's a question mark. Because, and that states, and I've been trying to get a copy. But if they claim that that information will damage, it states in statutory law as well as data protection, if certain information of NHS funded male or female doctor, general practitioner, whatever role they're in, that evidence will perhaps cause harm, whatever way, who knows, and that maybe where you might not be able to get your own information. I can't see that being blocking one's lawful rights to your data protection, especially since May 2018. When it comes to all data protection and statute law, I'm meant to have had it by now. It's over 30 days. They just seem to be making up their own sort of like in-house documentation and policies to block people to access their own information. But anyway, I thought that was crucial to know, and that relates to perhaps your own going through medical occupational therapy reports. And here my neighbour goes with his posh car, ramping it up. He never plays his music loud. Right, so then because this is standardized wording on the whether or not you are seen face to face. They call it a qualified. If you didn't know, there's a national register in UK, healthcare professionals. They will complete a report, but then again, they get paid by commission and times, and they don't always look at your medical evidence, even in their workload, because there's so many people throughout the United Kingdom. And again, I don't know how it works in Scotland or Wales. But they might not even look at your crucial medical evidence, and then it's sent on to the Department of Works and Pensions, who will obviously most likely turn it down and to make a decision whether you'll be able to claim your entitlement. But then don't forget, mandatory consideration needs to have additional evidence as well. And then obviously you're going to appeal, and don't forget you won't, if it goes to that, then it goes on to appeal tribunal, then you won't be getting any offer or DLA. I think this is another way why these public servants are trying to push everything quite quickly on me, because they know this could happen. So this is another way why I'm trying to get things done carefully. I mean, my mates are clearing up my place yesterday, like normal, but a bit more. I'm trying to figure out what I need if I'm going to move. Where's my belongings going to be stored to? Where am I going to be putting things? And if you're rushing in a place, you don't know where you're going to end up because of cutbacks in adult care services. Well, that means you got no way of getting all this paperwork or any help to do all this on top with the PIP side of it all. And in the outcome of an outcome within all this care assessment process, it was originally stated that in the care planning that this help with the paperwork and benefits, the documentation and phone calls would be part of what I need in the care package. But there's nothing in my area I can access, because I can't just get into a drop-in to sit advice. I can't just phone them up constantly. Then the one I know about, the only one I know about, well, bloody well, since June the 4th, May and June this year, it's still going on, they unlawfully blocked a home visit as well. They discriminated. There's ways what's behind it all, and I found out 3-4 months ago who's behind all that and what's going on. I ain't going to make that public, but just put it this way, they're going to get their just reward one day. So whatever I'm going through on this physical earth, I know I'll be somewhere better one day. But there's no time. Well, you just don't get much time. it goes on, if you have a question, well, you just want to go on their website, www.captia-Dwp Uk, and you go and find who owns that domain website. It's an American company based in USA. Yep. So your information is stored in a USA software database, and that's a company who owns that website domain, and you won't know who owns. There's no one based in England that domain website. Then it claims if you have any questions or requests relating to your assessment, you can contact the Inquiry Centre. Well, my friend did that last week, and it said it'll get in contact with you. You know, the email. And nobody got back. It also says you've got a disability and health condition means you need specific adjustments. That's Equality Statute Law 2018, Section 2122, and disability reasonable adjustments. Okay? They don't mention that in this document, they're abbreviating it. To the way that they carry out their assessments. And then you just add on to this and make your own notes. Equality. And that's going out the window already. Equality Act, Statute Law, 2010. And so you're not disadvantaged. And that's, they've already done this 3 times to me already. And that's Section 21, Section 22, of that Statute Law. And then you got the, I don't know what year this is, DDA, Disability Discrimination Act. I can't remember what year that is. Right. That is... Okay. Let me look at that. 1 page. They don't number the pages. 2 pages. 3 pages. And what document is this? What date it is? Yeah. So I need to find out from this individual I know about. I'll get an email or confirmation. I can check the time in a minute. Two-way conversation about you, and importantly how disability affects you. Well, if you're actually stuck, then it goes on to this. What they've done to me already, offering me appointments. Like, this is going round in circles. They've done this deliberately. Most appointments be held in your local area, yet this can be more than over an hour away. And all they do is send out travelling documents by walk this, walk that. They're so insensitive. It's done by computer generated documents and IT produced. And then also, I don't use public transport. I don't have a passport, a driver licence, and statutory law. So, and there is a medical reason that you cannot travel to one of their buildings, they call it assessment centres, get in touch, which has already been done 3 times, or more than 3 times, and we will try and arrange a home visit. If the case, we may ask for evidence from healthcare professional. Well, that's already done. And that was sent. It was dated, I can't believe the date, of the 4th of the 8th. I found that out on the 20th of the 9th, 2018. They had this medical evidence all together in line with, look, they don't quote the statute law, Department of Works and Pensions guidance. You need to find that out and go into this website, if it helps. Yeah, but by the way, they don't mention in the travel expenses to claim back, if you need a specialist taxi like I, that you'll need ID or as well as a bank account. Well, hold on, if you don't have a bank account and you get your disability income benefits into a post office account, yeah, what then? It doesn't give you, in their documents what expenses came back, it doesn't give any alternative. And if you don't have a friendly family member to use their bank account, then what then? It really is messed up. And I've only experienced and found this out by what's been going on with me and them messing me around on top of everything else. So it says keep receipts and fill in expenses, and then you don't claim there and then, they have to send it to you. So you have to save up for that travel cost. And don't forget, it's more costly if you need specialist transport and you have to book it in advance. And they don't. I tell you, it's just ridiculous. And if you don't look behind the wording or the documentation, how it's worded, and check it out with other people going through similar on social media. So then there is a letter, by the way, on this website, benefitsandworks.co.uk to it's a GP letter, a template to download to send to your GP for that medical evidence as well. Well, by the way, Capita holds that medical data anyway, and that medical evidence that you need will come from Capita anyway, so you go around in circles because it's all going computerised as well with the general medical contract with NHS England. So if you do get any documents, just write the website or benefits and works.co.uk on each document to remind you to check out on the subject or PIP, whatever subject of benefits you're dealing with, but this one I'm talking about is PIP. That's page 3. Right, page. This is page 4. Bloody hell. Right, by the way, accessible toilets will be available, but we cannot help you to use these. Well, how the hell do you use them if you need help? Premises with a hearing loop. If you use specialist communication, please bring it along. Make sure you let us know if there's any special requirements. Yeah, they couldn't do that before. We may have a short wait while you arrive at the centre. No, it's not. If you can't sit in your wheelchair, you're so weak, right? And they deliberately don't have chairs that comfortable. I mean, just go and find out for yourself what people are saying about their experiences. You might be lucky, you might be not. And it might take longer than an hour. Or it could take longer. See how they word things. Or it could, depending on your circumstances. Okay, then the healthcare, they're not trained. They're just making profit to make sure you don't score the points. That's what it's about, cutting the budget of DWP in the UK. They claim to explain the process to you, asking your permission to continue. And if you don't, and if you give the chance to ask any questions, well, this is where they go into the website to make a note. If you're able to remember this, make a note what questions and how can you keep them on your limited mobility. You're trying to control your wheelchair one-handed. And how are you going to read your notes at the same time? And then how are you going to have that equipment, recording equipment? That's the thing I'm coming to. Where does it say that about that? There is something I came across During the assessment, they will speak to you with help from your carer, companion or support worker if needed. What do they mean if needed? They would ask you questions about your mobility and how you... What if you can't talk about it because it's so difficult? And how you manage getting around an everyday task. And they will check with what you've already written down. And what this website individuals saying in the forums is take the notes with you. But how can you hold up a file one-handed in a wheelchair? So that's why the evidence is crucial to try and get home visit and get whiteboards, put them up on you've got pins of hanging them up like sticky notes to remind you what to ask, but have perhaps whiteboards you can get for £1 and hang them up, get someone to hang them up on your wall so you can trick in your mind what to ask if you can't remember because your health is deteriorating, whatever the situation, your mental health. It's worth doing that because it's impossible for some people. Oh yeah, and by the way, they're not there to diagnose you, they're there just to not score your points. And it is not always a two-way street because you just go and find, as I said, go on social media and this website and see what people are really going through. And then the physical examination, well, that's limited. My right side, my arm, my shoulder, my goodness me. They won't offer me an operation because of my situation medically at the moment still. So when you say you cannot do something, so I'm going to just end this now. It's going on long enough. Oh, the recording. What's this about? Audio recording. Right. The last bit of this. Now I need to go. I need to end this. I need to switch off. Right. Let's put in this date of this. 6 pages. Blinking heck. Okay. I can't believe these people don't have the training. Right, here we go. It is possible to audio record your assessment and done in line with set out with DWP. They don't mention, by the way, what policy, what regulation, statutory law. They're not stating how that can be done. So it states before you're offered an appointment, you don't need to ask to record the assessment by calling. It's worth getting it in writing or email, yeah? Because you're hanging on that phone forever. This is what this is what's been going on for weeks. More than that. Each time a call was made to put the reasonable adjustments in to audio recall and to have tables high enough for my wheelchair and a one-handed, and I need like a plugged socket near enough to my wheelchair, and the plugged sockets in the buildings are not wheelchair height friendly. And how do you know they're going to have tables that are safe for you to move around in your wheelchair? You won't have an accident. And so there's no guarantee on that. And when I put it to this public servant individual to ask of that, to make that requirement, she didn't get it out properly to them. Make it clear. So, because I have my own 2 sets, you need 2 sets of cassette players. You can't do, unless you do it secretly. It's up to you what you want to do. But you need to, if you're going to pill, you need a tape, the old tape cassette recorders. Okay? You might have a different system. but the equipment must be produced 2 identical copies, like the police do on their interviews. I don't know how they do it now. And the recording at the end, one of them must either on an audio cassette or CD. Well, I don't even know how to do the CD, so I've got audio. We do not accept devices such as PCs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, MP3 players, or recording devices. You'll need to give a copy to those that's assessing you at the end. And then you need to sign and agree that sets out what you are and not allowed to do recording. You need that full disclosure first. Full disclosure offer. So this is what was not highlighted on the first documents I had. Now, female, if you're trauma and experienced psychologically, you need a female. This was required so many times, and nobody in the call centre. You're talking to different people all the time, or capita, and it did not happen. And you need the full details of offer. If you're coming to your own drinking private aim, especially they have to follow the what's it called? Vulnerable adults, you have to follow safeguarding. That's it, safeguarding with these lot as well. So if a duty of care, it's like any private company and public funded company for disabled people. So I don't know, that's out. 6 pages. Hold on. 8 pages long this is. And then here we go. Now, this is the email that my mate emailed, contact us box. And here you go. There is an email for Department of Works and Pensions for this Pip one. And my mate needs to redo that to put everything to clarification. Who was offered the medical evidence. GW, Department of Works and Pensions in the United Kingdom is responsible for making the decision about your claim, alright? It's not capita, right? If you disagree with the outcome, you claim. Yeah, but it's always get it, as they say in these websites and forums, get it in writing, in email. And they don't like giving out email. I've got the Wolverhampton, UK location. So basically, they've messed me about. Have you made a note? Yeah, thank you. They messed me about. What date? We've got the paperwork. So basically, the first one was Coventry, wasn't it? That's impossible. Then the second one offer was in Coventry, wasn't it? Then the third one offer was in my area. But on the time, that was be unsafe. And then the fourth one's to offer a home visit. Right. And that's it for now. Got that. And we're just gonna. I don't know how much paperwork, but I'm not being required to move out. I mean, how do you get a filing system for this? This is generated because and it's unsigned, but the PO box, when you look for the PO box in Darlington North, United Kingdom, you can't find anything. And this has started all over again. And that was dated on Monday. Initial, oh my goodness me, yeah. They started all over again because it says initial information pack. Right. So we need to get to the bottom of this. But anyway, we find the right page. I don't know how to bloody well get all this sorted out. benefitsandworks.co.uk, that's what I'm saying about that. And basically, how do they expect people to remember all this stuff? Right. Absolutely, this is just ridiculous. Medical evidence. Just trying to find that bit of document that we just had. That's on page 3, wasn't it? Oh. Oh yeah, if there's a medical reason, there you go, that's on page 2, isn't it? My mate is whispering behind my ear. This is not very good, by the way. This causes a lot of distress. Yeah, so already requirement of offer. And they did not look at the medical factual evidence. Anyway, as I said, it's getting on. Basically, there's statutory law, there's contract law, but the Pip DWP oh my goodness me. And they automatically assume that you have a family or friend to support you, right? And it's just ridiculous. Ensure you have enough time to arrive on time. This is what they deliberately made sure I didn't have. And this is Monday just gone. You will receive instructions with your appointment letter to use public transport. Yeah, and when you don't, it's clear they don't use your evidence you sent off. It's just important. Even if you have an assistant doc, you need to take your water with you. Oh, here they say they provide water for them. How? Work's going to be the arrangement. So you have to have a detailed, so much detailed you give to them to put in place. And I bet you when you get there, you don't have what you need. Anyway, it's up to you what you want to think. Just try and get as much information, source information you can. There's one website I know. There might be a few others, you know. First-hand experience that they really messed me about 3 times already. And this is generated because of an individual, a couple of individuals. This is just absolutely unreal. Yet again. Going round in circles yet again. So, it's not, I don't know what to say, but anyway, just take care, everybody. Just be aware. It's just a nightmare. Bloody system going on and on and on. And at the moment, I've got to switch off and rest. This is ridiculous. Begin. Yeah, so that's my conditional acceptance or offer, and the counterclaim offer will be, and again, because they really messed me about, this has got to go the head office in DWP, well, 2 of them actually, 2 locations, because of what's happened. And it won't be a paper-based. There's no indication because it says initial information pack. It would have said something different otherwise. I've got to go. As I say, when you get offered into a care placement, you just don't bloody well get a chance to bloody well get things sorted out. They don't get. I wish there was. I'm not trying to worry anything, but I don't sound bloody confused in all this shite, but it is. It's no wonder people just give up and don't bother. But when you're trying to actually seek the damages to your health and how this is affecting you every day, and I've even got this document when they pushed me down to this to Sheriff's Orchards, Grey something court in Coventry, United Kingdom, and I mean this is going back. Yeah, normally you get home visit. I mean, this is like depict to the document home visit. I mean, making some notes previously about all this, and you're not fit to travel. So many phone calls and so much information has been, you know. And then you're going through other things on top, so it's just trying to, how do you prioritise everything? I really don't know, but everyone's circumstances are different, and I just know it's just getting bloody ridiculous, and I wish things were different for lots of us out there, and I don't know if I said or anything about it today. I'm not perfect, I'm just me. Complex disabilities like anybody out there. We're just trying to survive in the messed up world again and again and again. So I don't like all this bloody paperwork, and that's what they generate, the people that are just trying to exist. So I'm trying to negotiate with every bloody thing at the moment, and how can you get access to medical referrals when you've got all this shite going on, and then you've got the housing going on, then you got this and you got that? How can you break it down that's going to be effective? Because the system, the conveyor belt system, don't give that bloody time that you need. And then your health deteriorates, and then it costs the public purse more because you end up being bloody ill again. You know, and then you get weak again, and then you have an accident again, and then it's a vicious circle again. And so the referrals made to such and such a place, well, how can you access referrals, offer services when your shite situation's going on, and where the cutbacks and advocacy services going on? And then there is presumption constantly being made unlawfully about those that do have friends. Or you do have family, but my private friends can't bloody do the calls. They struggle to do the bloody paperwork. And they're struggling to they just can't sit in on all these bloody stuff I need. And this is why their cutbacks is going on to make life difficult. You don't get asked, by the way, to get physically disabled, get run over, get ill, things happen in life. So I just appreciate breathing, existing. It just is what it is, it's just existing. But I know my friends want me to chill out. Be aware of your psychological health. Be very, very careful and take it one thing at a time. It's so difficult, the pressure, everything. And I don't know if people out there just struggling to work, and you think, oh, what's she saying this for? Well, unless you go through these things, you don't know what it's like. you know? So there's no judgmentation. Everyone's different. And I just wish people had more training to assist people like me. More bloody clued up training. I really do. It would help immensely. That would help immensely. But do they give a shite? I don't, you know, from so far my experiences, nope. It's really it's unfortunate because I have required, on top of everything, this subject, housing, clothing support, yeah, to be referred and to get access to that, and that could really assist on top, because there's no way that's going to offer any aids and attachments of what I need, because it's a major job and they won't do it. They haven't done it for a year past that, and then they still won't do it. I know what's behind it. I'm not bothered in the sense of this place, but I do need not to be rushed. I need to be safely somewhere and eventually move on. And for anyone going through similar, God bless, be with you. And just try and take care best way you can. And just remember, a lot of people are going through the same. Yeah, my friend was trying to sort my bloody paperwork out for me again. The diaries. So it isn't. Yeah, I thought so. Gotta go.